Hey, everybody, welcome back. I hope everybody's doing okay out there. I hope you're having a really great day. Hope you had a really great weekend. Got to have those weekends, right? Hey, look, if some people out there who may be sitting on the fence, debating on whether they should maybe short term and long term prep, you know, uh, turn on the TV, you know, turn on the radio, listen to the news, any news. And that should automatically let you know that there is no better time than the present to get out there and stockpile all the food you can, technically, but get long term storable food, you know, because you just don't know. And to make sure you get short term storable food. That's your pantry and all that kind of stuff. Fully stocked. I mean, fully stocked and then some. Uh, you know, be smart because it begins, you know. Uh, we could have terrorist groups all over this country. We don't know. For 4 years, millions and millions of people were let in here, and we don't have no idea really who they are, where they went. Uh, Lone wolf terrorists are probably planning stuff. We already seen one here in Texas. I rest my case. Uh, there's no better time now than to be prepared for what could happen tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It just, there's no better time than now. And that's why we stockpile our medicines we can, we stockpile first aid, very important. That's why we stockpile, like I said, food and water, and ways to purify water. You got to. And also, don't forget currency. Paper money's good to have, but at some point in the future, maybe the near future, we don't know for sure. I am a believer that, though, paper money will be around for a long time, even though it may not be used as much. But precious metals, gold, silver, stuff like that is a must. It's just going to be a must. And gold is kind of a little out of reach right now for most people. Kind of is out for me, but silver, you know, silver is in big high demand, and that's always a good thing to have. There's a lot of other things that you would need. There's buku stuff out there you need. Uh, Extra power. Make sure you've got batteries, rechargeable batteries, and a way to recharge those batteries other than your own power source in your home, which means solar panels. You can get solar panels, and they're, a little expensive, but it's only a one-time investment, and then you've got it forever, and you can always recharge whatever you need to recharge, because a lot of us are hooked on these electronic devices, and without power, you never charge them. Once they're gone, they're gone. So get yourself some solar panels and stuff like that. You can get them. Like I said, they're not dirt cheap, but then again, they could cost a lot more, and it probably at some point in the future they will. So better late than never, right? Like I said, turn on the news. Things aren't great. Things are getting kind of really, really bad. Things could turn and go sideways here in this country at the drop of a dime. You've got still people out there protesting against the war. I'm not a warmonger. I have, been involved in a few things here and there back in my day. But I'm just saying, nobody wants war. Nobody wants to go to war. But there are things worth fighting for. And we're fighting to keep a rogue country from acquiring a nuclear weapon, who would most certainly use it the moment they had it. Just saying. So we don't need that. The world don't need that. Israel don't need that. Nobody needs that. It's bad enough we have nuclear weapons anyways, but they're here, and so we have to make sure that those who don't need them don't get them. Okay. And anything else I can think, just be vigilant. Know what's going on in your area. Try to know what's going on in your little towns. If you see something that's really weird, report it. If you see something that's super weird going on right at the moment, get the heck out of Dodge. Don't hang around, because, hey, why get involved in it if you don't have to? You're only there having these kind of things only when you have to. That's the only time you would use something like that. So, like I said, be strong. This is going to go on for a while, and probably even after it's finished, the lone wolf stuff is probably going to be active all over America now. So from, who knows, foreseeable future. So you just be aware of your surroundings, and just be careful out there. Take care. It's nothing but love for you. I truly mean it. Thanks for stopping by. I mean, you guys are great. And just remember, you either love it or leave it. Yeah, we have problems. It's not perfect, and we can make changes and make it better. But it's a better place, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else on the planet than here, even though we're kind of divided a bit, and we're probably going to stay divided a bit, but it is what it is. So, but like I say, the reason you prepare and the reason you're a prepper, the reason you prep, is just turn on the news and you can see why you should be a prepper. So, all right then. Hey, look, be careful. Until we talk to you again, we'll catch you later.